everybody, it's Dr. V back up in the He's It Baby. Okay, now normally I do not do these readings live, but um, I started doing this reading. As you can see, I pulled the cards, I pulled some clarifiers, so I'm going to set these aside really quick. And then my technology just started tripping, and so I decided I'm going to go ahead and go live because I want this reading to get out on May 1st, like I told you it would. So the first row up here is the Divine Feminine. And so this card is the energy of the Divine Feminine for the month of May. This is fast moving, fast forward motion. Like she's on, if you look at this card, on her horse, just charging ahead. Events that are occurring with great speed. Carefully review your options and find some creative solutions. So what this is saying to me is that the Divine Feminine going into May, get ready. I mean, seriously, like buckle your seatbelt because shit's about to go down. Things are going to be good. Things are going to be busy. Things are going to be exciting. I have the sense that if you have been in a space where you've like applied for jobs or you've been thinking like you want to move away from your current city to a different city, or there's that kind of energy, just be prepared because these things are going to start happening pretty quickly. How she sees the Divine Masculine. This is a Two of Air. So this is like the Two of Swords. She sees him as being unable or unwilling to make a decision. He's in a stalemate and pretending there's no problem. So a lot of this can be just around that sense of being stuck that we've been seeing for quite a while. Quite often this in the last few weeks is just this energy of like not moving forward, not doing things, not taking steps that need to be taken. And so that's how she's seeing him. And it's, anyway, so let me go ahead and clarify. So to clarify this, I wanted to just get a little bit further about how she was seeing the Divine Masculine in this energies. And the card that came out was the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords is taking a step, moving things forward, really kind of getting out of that stuck space and moving into more of a dynamic space, getting things going. So how the Divine Feminine is seeing the Divine Masculine is like she's like, okay, it's time for you to so it's basically like the energy literally that came through was like she's kind of in this space of like, okay, buddy, either shit or get off the pot. Like, I'm moving forward. Like, if you're gonna stay stuck, cool, stay stuck, but you're gonna stay stuck by yourself. I'm going forward because I need to go forward for my life. I need to go forward and do what I need to do. So in May, she may be continuing to distance herself and move toward new ideas and solutions. That could be the energy that she's coming in. That's really the energy of just kind of forward movement, going forward. And she sees the Divine Masculine as being stuck. And so she's hoping that he takes some steps forward. She's hoping that he does some things differently. But if he does or doesn't, she's moving forward. How she sees the relationship. Two of Water, a relationship that continues to grow closer. There's forgiveness and positive resolution of a conflict. So she's really hoping that this is going to go forward. She wants this relationship to continue to grow. This is how she sees the relationship. Even as she's taking her own space and doing her own thing, there's still that sense of things coming closer. She's really working on forgiveness and moving toward the resolution of any conflict that might be present in this relationship. Thanks for everybody that's here live watching. I appreciate your support and all of your lovely energy. And so what the Divine Feminine is bringing to the relationship is this Queen of Fire. She is the Queen of Fire is like the Queen of Wands. She's just basically like, she's just kind of like the queen of, she's got her shit together, okay? She's confident, she's graceful, she's ready to fly, she is ready to soar. And she's no longer underestimating herself. She is asserting her independence and her creativity. You're welcome, Heather. It's my pleasure to be here. So she's just that's where she is. That's what she brings to the relationship, is like this real vibrant queen fire energy. She's like on point, really on the top of her game. So the challenges, ego, Divine Feminines. I know sometimes we like to think that our masculines are the ones that are struggling with ego the most, but sometimes we do too. So this is her feeling this false sense of entrapment. Okay, she's feeling overly focused on material things and has some negative or fear-based thoughts that are happening. So what this is saying to me, honestly, is that the feminine is too dang focused on, when it says material things, it's the materialization of the union into the 3D. That is how I'm hearing that. It's like there's so many feminines that are like, well, when is it going to come to pass? When is my DM going to come around? When is union coming? And because it's not happening the way that she wants it to happen, or the way that she thinks it should happen, or according to her expectations or her timelines, then it's like, then she goes into this negative fear-based space. So that is the challenge for the feminine to overcome in May, is to not, you're not trapped by this, by any of this situation. Get out of the prison in your own mind. Okay, you can choose to move forward positively and still hold love and release expectations of this connection. Don't focus so much on when union's going to happen. Focus more on when you're on your own growth and your own evolution. And monitor your thoughts. Don't think negative thoughts. It's like sometimes I read the comments in these videos, and like people are saying such horrible things about their divine counterpart, and I'm like, well, yeah, that negative, those negative and fear-based thoughts are not going to help you come into union, like, at all. So we really have to be mindful of those energies that we're sending out, whether or not you can speak with love to your divine counterpart. But if your energy is off or you're speaking negatively, they're going to feel it. Remember that if you're truly a twin flame or soulmate connection, you are connected energetically on a soul level, and you can't, and it's not like you can hide what's going on. Hey, BB. How are you, girlfriend? Good to see you. Okay, outcome. Or desires, sorry, not outcome. We'll get to that in a minute. Desires. The divine feminine, it's like she wants to buckle down and get things done. This is what this says. Honor your commitments. She's basically like, this energy is what I'm getting, is that she wants to, in the material world, in spiritually, just overall with her divine counterpart, she's like, look, I want to get shit done. Like, if you guys have talked about doing business together, if you've talked about coming into union, you've talked about, there's been conversation, all this like talk and fantasy and whatnot. And she's like, okay, cool, that's all well and good, but like, I want things to actually come to pass. Like, I want things to materialize. I want to buckle down, get my nose to the grindstone, get my hustle on, get our hustle on as a union, whatever that looks like, and get things going forward. She also wants the honor your commitments card. So what this says to me is that, especially for any divine masculines, that are in like karmic situations, that the divine feminine is saying, like, you need to honor your commitments and do whatever it is that you need to do, like clean house there, take care of things there, before you can fully come here. And that she's really giving the space for that to happen. But she also wants the divine masculine to honor his commitment to her. So if he has made commitments to you, if he said, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and hasn't done it yet, she's like, okay, this is what I want. I want you to honor what you've said and what you've promised, because the foundation of any functioning relationship is trust, honor, commitment, being able to trust that what you say you're going to do, you're actually going to do. So I pulled some clarifiers on that. And the first one that came out was the Four of Pentacles. Again, a card of stability. This is like the Four of Pentacles, really, she's just wanting things to get stable and grounded in the material world. The next card that I pulled out as a clarifier was the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. And this is like, a person who's egocentric, unconcerned about his own or other people's feelings. As long as he can achieve his own interests, he can also be caught between laziness and indifference. So this is what she wants, the desire that the divine feminine wants, is she wants his energy to go. So if you've been feeling a lot like your divine masculine has been self-centered and egocentric and hasn't been really focusing a whole lot on what you want or what you need, but has been more concerned with his own energies and his own desires, that she wants that to come to an end. She really wants that to go away. Hi, Jane. Welcome. So divine masculine, where is the divine masculine? The current energies for the divine masculine for March is the sun. May. Good Lord, I'm like 2 months behind. So the sun is a happy outcome, brilliant new ideas that will lead to success, having confidence in yourself. This is actually really, really good because when you look at this energy, this Knight of Pentacles energy that the Divine Feminine is like, please let that go away. This this Knight, egocentric, only self-centered, thinking about themselves, is really rooted in somebody who doesn't actually have confidence and who doesn't really believe in themselves, and so they tend to um, project a false facade or an illusion about confidence. So it's like, the people that are really arrogant or cocky actually tend to be people who are very insecure. People that by and large, because it's like you don't have to. When you're a confident person, it's like the saying, like, don't talk about it, be about it. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and talk about how great I am. Nobody needs. If I'm sitting here talking about how great I am, there's probably a good chance that I'm really not all that as awesome as I think. Um, or if I'm like super self-centered, that's generally an indication of somebody who is actually lacking in confidence. And so what this is saying is that the divine masculine is actually moving into a space of having genuine confidence in themselves. It's like those doubts that have been kept keeping them frozen, the things that have been keeping them from shining and doing and taking the chances that they want to take and do the things that they want to do. They're stepping into this space of confidence and being able to do that. The sun is one of the most positive cards in the whole tarot, so that's actually a really good thing. The divine masculine is stepping up. How he sees the divine feminine. Again, a complex decision, the need to do research and stop procrastinating. I think what he, honestly, I'm going to pull a clarifier on this, but it's like the Seven of Cups is, Seven of Water is emotion. So there's definitely a lot of emotion, a lot of tie to the feminine. Um, and I get this really strong sense of, the complex decision, the need to do research and stop procrastinating is that, you know how I said this, that she's like on this like shit or get off the pot kind of energy, that this is where he is, that he is recognizing that she's in that energy, that the feminine is like, look man, like I don't have time for your shenanigans anymore. So like either you're gonna move forward and you're gonna do something or you're not. Either way, I'm gonna be just fine. I'm gonna continue going. But I think that he is starting to recognize the energy that's coming through is that the masculine is really starting to recognize that if he doesn't start taking some action, that this opportunity can be missed. And I'm not saying that the union will go away or that the divine feminine's gonna necessarily move on and cut him off. I don't know. I'm not trying to say that. What I'm saying is that that it could be something that if he continues to delay, that it may delay things for a while. So like what I'm thinking is that there's a lot of people. I actually did a reading for a man who is a twin flame. This was a few weeks ago, and he and his counterpart were in a relation. Anyway, long and short of it was like 50 years, and they've only just come into union a few years ago because there was other things that were going on. And so what I'm saying is not, and please do not get disheartened by this, okay? Because I'm not trying to say that this is what's happening. I'm saying that what the masculine is starting to come to understand is that he doesn't have forever to procrastinate and to not make the decision. And he's starting to understand that if he continues to procrastinate, that it may end up delaying this thing that he really wants, which is to love his feminine, longer than necessary. Okay, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be like 50 years, but it could be. Okay, I pulled this as a clarifier. How he sees the divine feminine, the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Hearts. It's like that old song, two of hearts, two hearts that beat as one. Here I go singing again. But the Queen of Cups, man, that's how he sees the feminine. It's like, just like he sees her as generous and capable and like affectionate, and she's like, maternal, intuitive. But he also knows that she's can be the queen of no fucks given, and that she's like, I have all of this love. I love so much, but I'm also, don't mistake my kindness for a weakness kind of energy. So he really sees the feminine in a positive light, which is really wonderful. How he sees the relationship. It's news of an exciting new endeavor. using your originality and ingenuity. So how he sees this, again, Page of Fire, it's a youthful energy, but it's passionate. So he sees this as very passionate. Um, and he's wanting some more, like, I'm getting that he really, really wants this to be that passion to go into a new endeavor. He really wants to that. That's how he sees the relationship. Um, and now I pulled this card as a clarifier. It's the World in reverse. I am using the Santa Muerte deck. As you guys probably have seen, it's a beautiful deck. A lot of readers use this and use it as like dark energy, which I take issue with, and I'm just going to say that really quick. So since we're all here talking, um, which is because they see it's like, oh, it's a negative card because the skulls, or that it's a darker deck. It's actually in the Latino culture, the Mexican culture, the Dia de los Muertos. We don't see death as a negative thing. We actually see it as a reminder to live well, like this idea of, hey, you know, you're gonna die someday, so like, what are you doing with your life? How are you? What are you? Like the sassy gay friend says, look at your life, look at your choices. That is what we're talking about here. So this is not a negative deck at all. It's actually very positive. So anywho, the World in reverse is how he sees the relationship. It's I mean, the world is usually, it's like the end of a cycle. It's, you know, the last card of the major arcana, and then it goes back to the Fool, to the new beginning. So um, it's basically what I'm how I'm reading this is that, you know, the masculine is recognizing that he needs to end a cycle. He needs to end something so he can start something new. He recognizes that. He's seeing this, like he knows with that it has to happen, and that he knows that that if he doesn't make that decision, that opportunity can pass him by. Um, and if the masculine is the less awakened twin, let me remind you that if the masculine is the less awakened twin, whoever it is that is the least or lesser awakened, doesn't know necessarily that a twin flame connection is forever. So they may just be seeing like, oh, I'm losing her, and I need to like figure it out. So that's, anyway, just felt like I needed to say that. What the masculine is bringing to the relationship as balance, the need for balance and moderation, cooperation and compromise and waiting for perfect timing. So there is this sense of you know, striking while the iron is hot. And so so not getting stuck in stagnant energy, like this energy back here of it's a complex decision, so I'm procrastinating. You know, it's like a lot of the masculines that have karmic relationships that are like not wanting to necessarily do the difficult work to end the karmic relationship, but don't want the feminine to leave either. And so it's that kind of energy. That is what this energy is back here. And so what he's bringing into this the union is there is a need for balance and moderation. So a lot of the feminines are like chomping at the bit, like they just want to go forward, and they just want to, like, you know, kind of balls to the wall with this connection. And the masculine is kind of slowing it down a little bit, which is good because we do need some moderation. So it's like, let's make sure that we're all submitted and committed to waiting for perfect timing and allowing divine timing to play out in this situation. So the challenges that the divine masculine says is 10 of cups, a contented and rewarding family life, your emotional and material needs are met, and trustworthy relationship. So this is a challenge for him because it's not because that's what he wants, but that's not what he has. I'm getting the challenge of, you know, emotional and material needs being met and trustworthy relationships, that those conditions are not currently present, and that's a challenge for him because of that, because not feeling supported, not sure if there's gonna be support for them in taking further steps, that's part of what's hindering the journey. That it's like, if I trust my heart, if I follow my heart, if I follow my guidance, are people gonna still love me? Are people gonna trust me? Do I have are the relationships that I have in my life going to support me regardless of what I do? That is a challenge. So it's a lot of people a lot of DMs that are experiencing like their families perhaps are not in support of the relationship, that they're like, it's too different, there's other obligations, there's other things, and so they're like not supporting the connection and the union. And so that can be part of it, that they're like, oh, if I step out in this and follow this connection, like it could cost me. So as a clarifier, I pulled for this one is the Four of Swords. um, the swords, as you know, are, it's like the mental realm. And so the Four of Swords is basically like, it's again this the solitude, time out, um, feeling a barrier, a fence, something that will, like the kind of like almost like a mini hermit mode. Like this challenge is that there's like this mini hermit mode happening, um, and um, if the masculine is using the time wisely and being like, if he uses this time during May wisely and uses it for self reflection, uses it to grow, uses it to not just isolate, but to actually work to transmute the situation, then things will be much better for them. So, the desire, what does the masculine desire? Um, it's a page of error. It says challenging information, delays or changes to plan, truth delivered without tact. So what this is saying to me is that the divine masculine is really wanting to step into a space of honesty, delivering or being delivered challenging information. There's delays or changes to plans. So what they're wanting, truth delivered without tact, is kind of, what I'm getting is kind of to pull the band-aid off. Like this is sort of like, if you guys remember the movie Fried Green Tomatoes, it was a long time ago. But one of the characters was played by Kathy Bates, and she was this older woman that was having like a kind of a midlife crisis, and she was just doing all kinds of wild stuff. And I kind of feel like that's where the masculine kind of wants to get into that energy of like, you know what, I'm freaking tired of like these delays and like my plans not working out the way that they should. I kind of want to just like be who I am, like just finally like take the mask off and be who I am. um, again, rip the band-aid off and just let people deal with my truth, whether they like it or not. um, and I feel like he wants the end like this. Also, it says delays or change of plans. I really feel like the masculine is moving into a space in May of where he wants those delays and those plans to be able to come to fruition. He's ready for this to shift. I think, again, I get this sense and this strong energy around um, knowing that the divine feminine isn't going to sit around and wait forever. Like the divine feminine is not going to sit around and wait for you to get it together. She's going to go on and live her life and do her thing. And if that means that you miss out on that, if that means that divine feminine goes on and maybe chooses to get into a different kind of relationship, or chooses just to move on from the twin flame connection, on her own and cut off contact or whatever that might be, I get the sense that the masculine is really, really understanding that she's not going to just sit around and wait for him to figure it out, and that he's got to take some steps to move forward. And he wants these delays and things to end. That's what that is. So that's the overall energy for May. It's interesting because it does feel like there's some forward movement, and there's also still some of that lingering stuckness. So I'm going to pull some cards from the Psychic Tarot. Yeah, you snooze, you lose, right? The Psychic Tarot by John Holland, just around a little more depth into where each of the twins are in terms of this connection. Hey, Anais. I love that. It's one of my favorite names, by the way. One of my favorite philosophers, Anais Nin. Although a lot of people, especially in the United States, say Anais, but I don't know how you pronounce it. But anywho, all right. Some further information on where the divine feminine rests and rejuvenate. Let me show you that one. Rejoice in celebration. You think you'll be walking away from your DM? He's moving in with karmic. You do you, bro. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Empress. Yes, feminines. Look at that. Feminines are like, okay, we're taking this time to rest and rejuvenate. Um, there is some rejoicing that's happening. I also take this card, this Three of Cups. I always see that with the whenever I see that show up, it suggests to me, because it's emotion and it's three, a third party situation. So I want to pull a clarifier on that one because I just want to. Because I want to, okay? Six of Wands. So that is a celebration card too. Oh, I did say it right. Yay! I'm so glad. Woohoo! I'm going to give myself a pat on the back after I'm done here. For real. People always say it wrong and it kind of gets my goat. So anyway, um, to clarify, that was a Six of Wands. It's dynamic, forward-moving energy, victory, public celebration. So there is some celebration, um, and I'm not actually necessarily getting this in terms of the connection. Actually, I feel like this is related to some other stuff. I feel like you're gonna get. Like I said earlier, like a job offer opportunity, something is going to happen. Like your profile is going to get raised. Like you're going to start. We've been talking about Stack of Pentacles. You're going to start like getting money, opportunities, things that you really want, and there's going to be a lot to celebrate. Like it's going to be like, this is freaking awesome for you. What is that song? Like, this is fucking awesome. Anyway, it's one of my son's favorite, and it's the time of rest and rejuvenation. So I don't know about you guys, but in this third, like the glow up challenge, I started doing it yesterday, even though technically today was the start day. And I'm just feeling good. I feel strong. I feel powerful. I feel confident. And I know that 90 days of this is going to be freaking amazing. So, this is where the feminine is, rest and rejuvenation. And the celebration, this rest and rejuvenation, is leading her into this, which is the fertility. This is the Empress card in the traditional tarot. This is her stepping into her divine feminine. Like, I swear on all things holy, if you guys do the work in May, that come June 1st, I swear just the energy is that you're going to be like all in your badass gloriousness as divine feminines. I freaking love it. If he's in a karmic and he feels the DF moving away from him, will he just not think it will be easier to stay with the karmic? He may do that. But his choices are not your problem. His choices, like, to each their own path, right? If they sense you moving away, paradoxically, I actually think that when they sense you moving away, that it actually pulls them closer. That has been my experience. You do a cud courting ceremony, and watch how quick your divine masculine comes back, because they can sense you pulling away. And I'm not saying do that for that reason, but do what you have to do for you. Like Jane said, do you, boo. Do your thing. Take care of you. Be your best self. And if that means moving away from them, and that means that they stay closer, or they move closer to the karmic because that's easier, well, that's their path. Do you want to be with someone who takes the easy route because it's easier, or do you want someone to be with someone who takes the road less traveled because that's what their heart is saying? Personally, if my DM is going to take the easy route because it's the easy route, then that's not the kind of man that I want to be in union with. I want to be in union with the king who's ready to go to battle if that's what's necessary to protect his kingdom. If he's going to slink off into the shadows because the battle is too hard, that's not someone that I want to roll with right now. So, excuse me. Yuri wants to meet, but he's also mad because I'm not playing along. Right, exactly. I'm like, this life is challenging. Life is I mean, it's beautiful, but there are things that are challenging. I want someone that is, like Lord of the Rings, where it's like Arwen and I don't remember their names, but the lady that, like, she, they're like, no man can defeat him, and she takes off her mask, and she was like, I am no man, like, whew, wow, I just got like this big surge of emotion around that, where it's like, we need to be like, when we're divines, we need to be with divine counterparts who are willing to go face the enemy, the battle, to go onto the battlefield, whatever that might be, whether that's spiritually or physically. You want someone who can rise up to the challenge, not someone who's going to slink off because it's easier. So Um, masculine. Oh my God, you masculine, seriously, trapped in fear. You're killing me, Smalls. And the passion ignited. Okay. Movement, choice, and decisions. Masculine is still trapped in fear. I'm like, come on, bro, gotta get out of that, man. It's like, get out of your fear. That is the energy that they're in again. And so we need to, you know, masculines need to move through that, seriously. But there has been an ignition of passion that has happened. And so I do feel this is a spiritual card. It's a number one. It is definitely, to me, indicating the spiritual awakening that the divine masculine has experienced. And they're in that space of movement, choices, and decisions. This keeps coming up. I really want to know. I'm going to pull some cards. I don't even want to pull any clarifiers on this because that's so clear about what's happening. So I'm going to pull some clarifiers around what is blocking that. So feminines, y'all know we have to stay out of our egos, right? We got to stay out of fear. We got to stay out of negative thoughts. Like if you're thinking negative thoughts towards your masculine, you know, if you're thinking like bad thoughts or you're, you know, just be really, really mindful about cleaning up your thoughts and sending love, sending lots and lots and lots of love their way. They need, it looks like they really need it right now. But I want to find out what's blocking. Okay, let me look at your, I'm going to shuffle and read the comments. I'm not about to be the only one defending myself when he gets insecure and can't take it. Right, exactly. Like that's, you know, we talked, some of the divine feminine cards that come up. Okay, all right, cool. Sorry, Spirit just told me to use this. A different deck for right now. Some of the cards that we've been talking about is like the protection of the spirit. That a lot of men, masculines, have not protected the feminines in the past, and so that's why a lot of us have, you know, endured trauma and different things like that. And so at this point, it's like if we're going to be, you know, being in divine partnership, we need to be with divine counterparts that are not going to be, you know, the immature masculine or the domineering masculine, but the masculine that's in balance. So you did a cord cutting. He contacted you the next night. He did feel that we hadn't had a conversation so long before. You did it on the 8th, and there was some activity 12 years later, or 12 years later. How do you do the cord cutting? There's some ceremonies that on YouTube that you can do. I'm not planning on doing a video. I just look up some of the ceremonies on YouTube. They have some really good ones. You met up with your DM last night. He really let his guard down and told me he wants a relationship, but he's trapped in fear. And we just pulled the trapped in fear card. That's so funny. You trigger so much in him, and he needs to do more work, which he knows. I need to get DM out of my head. I'm always thinking about him. Yes, focus on something else. Like I said in my other reading, when I was like just read an effing book or something. Seriously, read a book. There are so many amazing things that you can do to keep your mind occupied other than thinking about your divine masculine. Like work out, go for yoga, listen to a podcast, read a book, watch a movie. I don't know, wash your hair, do something, anything other than thinking about that. Think about what you want. Visualize your future life, like how you want things to do. I mean, seriously, anything but focusing and obsessing on that. You did a severance with cord and candle flame. Really be a man for yourself. How annoying. Funny, I cut the cards today. Sorry, you'll email me your contact info today. Cool. If you're looking at the glow up challenge, please do, because it's seriously, it's going to be awesome. What's else? I keep remembering like that. This is fucking awesome. Anyway, that song is in my head. So Spirit wanted me to use this card. Energy blocks. There's an energy block that's happening with the masculine right now. Isis, goddess of magic. What? I've never drawn this before. Literally in all my readings, I've never drawn this Isis card. Thoth, god of wisdom. Ooh, I'm liking this. I'm not even, okay, sorry. I'm getting a little bit too jazzed up right now. An unconditional love. Okay. Yes, thank you, Spirit. Okay, First of all, I have a really like serious connection personally with Isis. Um, the store that I do readings in here in my town is called Goddess Isis Books, and so I feel very connected. I also feel very connected to Isis and Osiris. Just always have ever since I heard of them. Um, and interestingly, um, why am I drawing a blank on her name? Melanie on Whole Again 1111 has done a couple of readings that I've listened to that got it, that Isis and Osiris have shown up in that too. So that's very synchronistic. But it says, I have come through today to bring forward the energy of the ancient divine feminine magic. I am available to all women who are here walking the earth and this time reclaiming their title of creatrix. The way I have been depicted within this deck shows an important part of my story. I am shown moments before I found my beloved Osiris after his death. When I discovered that he had been murdered, grief took over. To this day, legend still states that my tears filled the Nile. This is an accurate representation of how much despair I felt. I felt that grief deeply. I used the emotion as creative fuel and roamed Egypt until I found my beloved and brought him back to life. With the strength of my feminine power, I just got goosebumps everywhere. As you read those words, something is gently stirring within you. A remembrance of your magical power, of who you really are, the healing arts. Oh my God, you guys, seriously, this is beautiful. Um, this is about you, we as feminines, stepping in to our magic. So taking that grief that we feel, the pain of loss of being in separation, the confusion around what the hell the divine masculine is doing, and use that, transmute that energy to create something magical. And as you focus on healing and creating and being your goddess divine feminine self, you actually are bringing back together all of the dismembered and disowned pieces of the masculine. Holy hell, that's the message that just came through, is that as you do your work and you integrate, that you're actually helping the divine masculine to do his work and integrate as well. Wow, you guys, this gave me such like goosebumps. Thoth, god of wisdom. um, Initiation. So I asked what the blocks are, and so what this is saying is that because I was like, what are the blocks to union? Okay, what's going on? Why is this delayed? Why is the divine masculine still not listening? Like not moving forward? Why are they still stuck? And what this is saying is that the divine masculine is blocked from his wisdom, from the higher self. So this is about, Thoth is about like literally messages from spirit. And I feel like a lot of the divine masculines are getting messages. They're just not paying attention. They're blocking it out because of fear. Because it's like, if they accept that this connection is what it is and all of the, all of these things, that it challenges everything. It shifts their whole world paradigm, and they're not quite prepared for that. um, and so the feminine, like what's blocking this, is just not understanding your own ability. It's like too much grief, too much focus on the grief, like, cry me a river, cry like the Nile, right? Like Timberlake said, cry me a river. Stop doing that. Stop crying. Get out of the grief, get out of the pain, get out of all of that, and transmute that energy to create something magical. There are some energy blocks that are happening, energy healing that needs to happen, but within each party in the connection. Again, focus on healing your own energies, like clean up your own backyard, so to speak. Um, and as you do that, it actually contributes to healing the union. Another block is the unconditional love. I know a lot of people think that they're operating in unconditional love, but let's be real. If you're thinking negative thoughts and you're thinking like, if there's any jealousy or envy or ego, or you're like, my DM is acting like, whatever, that's not unconditional love. So we need to really elevate and focus on elevating ourselves into that unconditional love this month. That is the block, is not being in that space. I'll leave these out while I look at some of the comments. I hope he's not being a fool and he's my karmic. Yeah, well, the only way you can know is by knowing, okay? I mean, I know that sounds like you only know by knowing. You get a private reading if that feels in alignment for you. But the way that I can tell you, I wrote a piece about this on Medium a while back, is that the divine in my opinion, in my experience, that there may be wounding that is caused by divine counterparts because of their own unprocessed issues. But the bigger difference that I see between like karmics and twin flames is that the twin flames um, genuinely have the well-being and the peace of mind of the other person at heart. And they will, which is why you will allow your divine counterpart to walk away, because you're like, well, if that's what he needs and that's what he wants, or that's what she needs and that's what she wants and that's what's in their best interest, then you allow it to happen without clinging. Karmics are less likely to let go, even if it's not in their best interest. It's like they want to cling and hold on to that, as opposed to being willing to. So true love is like true love, you guys. I'm sorry, I can't help it. Every time I think true love, I think about the Princess Bride, and then it's like marriage is what brings us together. Um, so the true love connection is really about non-attachment. It's like, I just want your peace of mind. I want what's best for you. I want your happiness, divine counterpart, even if that takes you away from me. Karmic energy is not like that. Karmic energy is clinging and wanting and needy, and not that it can't be that way with twins before we evolve and ascend, but it doesn't stay that way. You transmute them. So anyway, moving on. That's the thing. I'm busy all the time, but I feel like it's him thinking about me, and my thoughts get triggered on. That can be it too, because you have that telepathic stuff going on. But what you can do, and one of the things that I do when I have that energy that pops through, is I'll be like, return to sender. You know, just send it back. Like, this is your energy. Like, if your divine masculine is like projecting their energy onto you because they're feeling needy or clingy or whatever, insecure, you can just send that back to them. Just be like, sorry, I'm not receiving that energy. That's yours to deal with. Um, let's see. Crazy thing is, my DMs, I told him since he's happy with his karmic, then to meet me to talk and let me know. Let me go. He got defensive and went ghost. If you're happy, let me go. LOL. And of course he can't. Of course, right. That's that's pretty common. Let's see. When you think about your DM, you just feel happy they came into life and we're not separate. Transmuting joy into sorrow. That's great. Yeah, feeling sad and rejected is pretty common, but try to move through those. You knew right away before you knew twin flame was. Okay. You know he is. His higher self has come to you lately. I feel the energy. TS, love karma's put you through hell. Yes, I. Okay, I gotcha. Okay, perfect. That makes sense. So cool. I wanted to look at those comments before I jump any further. So we know what the blocks are: unconditional love, blocking wisdom, healing and transmuting some energy, and letting yourselves be freaking magical, because that's what we are. So um, let's see what's going to happen with terms of romance, angels. Spirit, give us some insight about what this connection will bring during May through these handy dandy romance angels cards. The spirit of the Twin Flame Collective in May. Spirit, please, messages for the Twin Flame Collective for what's ahead in May. I just keep getting this message like, fasten your seatbelts. Stay optimistic, positive thinking. So that's you doing your work. Past life relationships. So someone or both people are going to start making those connections around the past life relationships, is what I'm getting through that. Give your relationship a chance. So you'll be working on your partnership. Two more, Spirit. Okay. Chemistry. Magnetic attraction. Bow chicka wow wow. That's my bow chicka wow wow card. And freeing yourself, taking back control of your life. So whether that's you moving away from the connection because your counterpart is not quite free of their situations and they're not ready, and you're just kind of going forward, or this could also mean, and this could be around the karmics, that the karmic situations are coming to an end, or some karmic situations are coming to an end. I've been feeling that a lot. Like May and June will be big months where I think things are going to really shift. So I want to pull some clarifiers. So Spirit, what's ahead for the Twin Flame Collective in May? I'm going to use the Shamanic Healing Oracle cards. What is ahead for the Twin Flame Collective in May? And I got to wrap up because I got to go get my offspring. Yes, I call my kids offspring. They love it. Or not. I'm not quite sure. Actually, I think they do. They find it very amusing because I'm like, hey, what's up, offspring? And they're like, wow, my mom's so weird. Okay. What's ahead, Spirit? New beginnings. Do I even need to go any further? Grounding. Oh, this is so beautiful. Slow but steady. I just did a personal reading for somebody, and the groundings and the slow but steady card came out for them too. So what this is saying to me is that in May is going to be a month of really deep grounding for this for these connections. That there's going to be a lot of people getting really deeply rooted spiritually, feeling very much deeply rooted within their own sense of selves and with spirit, and that's going to lead to new beginnings. New beginnings are ahead, you guys. Seriously, like there are new beginnings that are happening, and this is saying slow but steady, right? This is like we're not in a marathon. We're not in the 100-yard dash here. This is a marathon. This is a long-term race that we're in with this connection. And so it's like you're just going to keep going ahead, keep grounding, keep doing your work, and slow and steady is going to get things going toward this new beginning. You guys, I'm not kidding you. I have this sense that there's going to be some, for real, like people coming into union, new beginnings, things starting over, like karmic relationships ending. There's going to be a lot. May is going to be a big month. There's May and June, I think, are going to be some really significant months. 2443 on your phone. Yes. So I'm going to pull message from your. Okay. All right. I'm going to pull 3 messages. This is what your divine counterpart wants you to know. There's so much energy in these cards right now, you guys. Literally, they just jumped out of my hands. That rarely happens. But there is just so much energy in these cards. I'm so glad you guys are all here watching and enjoying this video and having this conversation. Yeah, union is imminent. I'm telling you, I've been feeling May for months. Me too. Like I keep saying, like I don't know what is going on. Like I had dinner with a girlfriend of mine from grad school this last weekend, and she's super intuitive, and she does tarot card readings. But we were just having dinner at that point, and we were talking about things, and she said the next 2 months are going to be pivotal for you. And I was like, and I got goosebumps. Like I get goosebumps whenever like the truth, like truth is delivered. And that was the message that she came through. Oh my God, you guys, this is the message the first one that just came through from your divine counterpart. Look deep within your heart and you will feel my love. My love for you is as deep as the ocean. I loves you. She loves you. The next one. The next message. Let there be closeness between you, but always give each other space. Love never claims, it simply allows and gives. Okay. All your psychics told you is going to open up in May. Awesome. Yep. April 20th to June 20th sounds like a reasonable time frame too. Like it's just, this is not, I don't know, I just keep saying like the next May and June for sure are going to be incredibly powerful months. Okay, I thought Spirit said 4, so, or 3 or 4. Okay, so this card, your relationship with one another is about to deepen. Love conquers and transforms all things. Yes. Okay, one last message, Spirit. Okay. Um, One of the things that I want to say as I'm shuffling and waiting for this card to come out is that I really want to encourage you guys to focus on what you want. Like, let's stop focusing on what's happening right now. Don't focus on what is happening or not happening in this connection. Um, Focus on the thing that you want. Seriously, I know this, you may think I'm crazy for just saying this, but like, put your vision board together. If you want to come into union and you want to get married and have 11 billion babies with your twin, like, start seeing it. Like, spend time literally every day imagining what it's going to feel like to come into union. Imagine, see yourself like walking down the aisle if you want to get married. See yourself like um, finding out that you're pregnant together. I'll see that and feel into the energies. Like, we've been taught the wrong way. We've been taught that seeing is believing, but I have to tell you that it's the exact opposite. Believing is seeing. So see it, feel it. Imagine that. Imagine being in union. Imagine that great loving energy that you would feel walking towards your divine counterpart on your wedding day, or you being at the altar and she is coming down the aisle towards you, and like the overflow of love and bliss that you would be feeling in that moment. And be in that energy, stay in that space instead of he's in this joker energy and I'm frustrated with him. Like, really learn to transmute and manage your energies and create the reality that you want. And the last message, forgiveness. Oh my gosh, stop focusing your energy on past events. Life is too precious to wait. You create your reality by what you think, dream, and imagine. Holy shit, you guys, I just was saying that literally. So I do have to run because I got to go get my spawn from school and my battery's about to die. I will come back later and I'll probably do it live again because technology is tripping on the karmic reading for May. All right, so I will talk to you all soon. Thank you for being much for being here. It's such a pleasure to be in community and in service to you. Take care. Bye-bye.